Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, we're doing some ambush. It's tough stuff, ambush at the moment, but we'll come to that. The first, I thought I'd bring you the news. We were thinking of doing some kind of cheesy, this is the news, with SquadB, with your host, Euro Parks, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to talk about it. What idiot defaces the Eve Monument and then tweets about it on his Twitter with his name and address linked to it? I am gobsmacked at how stupid people can be in this game. Now, the reason I mention this is it does create, and it nicely frames what I'm about to say, in that sometimes people take this game a bit too seriously. And I hear what you're saying. You're saying, but Pyrex, you do a video every day of this game. You're taking it a bit seriously, aren't you, bro? Well, yes, I am. But I also can do this in 10 fucking minutes. It takes me literally 10 minutes to do this game, this video now. And that's the beauty of it. I do them all in a row and done, right? If it was actually effort to do this, I probably wouldn't be doing this game. But anyway, I am just as bad as a lot of this. So I merge and throw myself in here. But my God, to go to an Eve monument while you're at Eve Fest, which is a significant investment anyway, to then go to the Eve monument and find the name of somebody that your alliance has a bit of an issue with, and then deface that monument while Eve Fest is on? Oh, what a moron. I'd love to know who it was. If you know who it was, please post in the comments, because we're going to go and do an interview with this guy. We're going to find him and talk. Apparently, it was a Dust player. Now, I've assumed it's one guy who had 7 Eve accounts and 1 Dust account. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me, because I would love to know who it was, particularly because they have a Dust account. I really want to know what their motivation was, because I think that's going to be a hell of an interview. So why did you do it, bro? Well, I wanted to kind of show this guy that he's a twat. And it's just like, really? Really? It's a game, bro. It's a game. And to be honest, it blew my mind that somebody would be so stupid to do that. I mean, when I think back at the Eve battles we've had, our biggest enemy was Sir Mole, or Sir Molly, or whatever, from Bob. He was the leader of Bob, and he was bloody good at the game. He really did. He knew what he was doing, but he was just completely stomped continually by the goons and their friends, and that's just the way of things. And to me, there's having an ego about what you do, and there's enjoyment of an IP, and enjoyment of a game and a story. And then there's this, which is defacing a public monument that obviously they're quite proud of, because the mayor and all that released it. And, they're obviously proud of this monument. So, and you do it during a fan fest that you've paid over $1,000 to go to. I think $1,500 to go to. And you deface it while you're there. And if that's not stupid enough, you then tweet about it. And you tweet that you've done it. Oh my God. I don't know what to say, because I'm just gobsmacked at this. So post in the comments, tell me who this dude is, tell me more, because I tried to look. I did a deep and thorough search for at least 30 seconds and couldn't find anything. So, post in the comments if you know more. It is such a shame that people get a bit crazy about this game. It's nice in a way, because obviously the game's success has come from a very die-hard group of people, but I also think, wow, why would anyone do that? And I think it is a real shame that that people just do these silly things. But anyway, there we go. So I won't talk any more about it. I was just gobsmacked that somebody did something so foolish. So, playing Ambush. The games have been very good lately. I've noticed this as we've been doing certain stuff, is that the games have actually become not too bad at all. Ambush is still pretty terrible if you get Duna or people like that in their tank, because they're just never deviating away from what they do, ever. And it can be quite annoying, because obviously, I think literally the day that they switch the servers off, Duna will be there logging in, trying to log in, saying, what's wrong? What's going on? It's going to be quite funny. But, just look at that, the strafing bollocks. I hate this. Look at this crappy aim assist bollocks. I hate it. I can't wait for this to be changed. I'm getting excited now. I want to see the new things coming through, and I think, Dust has always been a very, very enjoyable game, but to me, it's like most people play because of the game it's going to become. And I think that's no different to Legion now. Everyone's now straight back to where they were. They've just hit, reset. And we're all back at the point where we're wanting to, find out more about this game. And I think that's partly what people are doing now. I don't know. People have asked me how long I think beta and all that is away, or rather open beta, I guess, because closed. Well, no, closed beta, I guess we can all play, but you have to sign up to, etc. For me, I don't know. I think maybe 6 months, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Maybe a year, probably not. But I think it's probably not terribly far away. I don't know. To be honest, I have no knowledge. I actually don't know. I think, for me, it probably is going to be sooner than we think. Because I don't think they would have announced it. I honestly don't. I think they'd have just done a very low-key, dust fest thing, just talked about some of the things they're doing. They obviously announced it at EFest for a reason, and that could be that it's actually not far from completion. Potentially. I think for myself, though, I'm kind of excited about, the whole wider aspect of the game because, I love the IP, so therefore logging in and going and shooting drones, it still appeals to me. I love the idea of that. I like the idea of fighting dudes when you want to fight dudes. That's also very nice. And I think, it's just nice. I think there's lots of very, very cool features going to come through that I'm quite excited for. The graphical increase is going to be good. This game doesn't look great at the moment. It looks it looks okay, but when you compare it to PlanetSide or anything really, it doesn't look terribly good. But that, again, is that the limitations of the PS3, or is it just they haven't gone too far with it? I don't know, but we'll find out. And we do also know that the Dust engine is Unreal Tournament 3 engine, which is modified very heavily. So that's interesting as well. The Unreal Tournament engine. These engines never age, so people who say, "Well, why are you using that engine? It's going to look old." No, it doesn't work that way. It's like you have to think of it differently than that. It's if they have a better capability and skill to code in the Unreal Tournament 3 engine, it's better that they stick with it because they'll make any Unreal Tournament 4 game can be made to look an Unreal Tournament 3 game within reasons. It's just the different engines that they're running. So to me, it makes perfect sense to carry on using that. I think they're going to have a knowledge of Unreal Tournament 4 with Valkyrie now as well. So that's going to make life kind of interesting as well. I am intrigued. I think, to be honest, Legion is going to be a great move forward. One of the things I really did plug into in the AE-Fest was that guy, the Chief Technology Officer, who's basically talking about having each game link better. So you would have the ability to have all three pilots. So you could have the ability to put on an Eve suit and go and play an Eve ship, the ability to get into a Merc suit and go and fight on the ground, and then the ability to get into a fighter, blah, blah, blah. And to me, that's that's exactly the kind of game that I want to play. I want to have options. And by doing that, it does mean that potentially 500,000 accounts could now have Dust logins, which has always been the issue, is getting people from the established game to come across to the new game. And that was always the issue of Dust. For years, that's been the issue of Dust. I had to go out and buy a PS3 to play Dust, and I did this because I wanted to play Dust. But I'm a knobhead for doing that, I guess. But I could afford to do it, but lots of people can't, and I think that was always a massive blocker for this. And this is something that I think CCP probably should learn from with Valkyrie, is that people want to play Valkyrie, but they probably can't because could you go and buy a $400 headset for your bonce and then go and play it? No, probably not. I don't even I could do that because that's too much money for even me, that's just the way of things. And I think, to be honest, I think that was maybe not understood with the whole piece. For me, I think Legion, by its default, is just going to have many, many hundreds of thousands of people sign up just because it's linked to Eve. And it's on the PC, so there's no barriers for technology. Now, the interesting thing is that can they produce a game that people will stay and play? And I think the answer is yes, as long as they get this first bit right. Not everybody PvPs. Most of Eve doesn't PvP. But you didn't know that, did you? But they don't. Most of Eve stays safe and they never fight another player because they're so scared of loss. Eve creates greedy people who make ISK, and they just the thought of losing money to them is abhorrent. So they would never PvP because they lose money. There's only a small percentage of the entire population of Eve who have ever fought. And I know that's quite startling, but it is true. And so therefore, you're going to have most people who play Eve Legion will never fight. So that has to be absolutely front and center to CCP's strategy here, because quite frankly, the reality is that Eve Legion will be played as a PvE engine only for the vast majority of people. Now, I wonder if they understand that. I wonder if that's an accepted condition or situation that is going to arise from this. I don't know. But to me, I just know from my years of playing Eve that hardly anybody actually fights. In deep space, yes, they do. But even then, a lot of deep space people still don't fight. They get into deep space and then they hide. They rat and they mine and they make the money and then they hide. So to me, there's a real kind of... to me, almost the core mechanics of Legion need to be aimed at the PvEer over the PvPer. And there, Your Honor, I rest my case. A fun ambush. Actually, I quite enjoyed that. We lost, but it was still a really fun match. Got to use the forge gun a little bit. Got killed a few times, but yeah, it was good fun. The games are not too bad at the moment. If you have a bad game, just leave the game and go to the next one, because there's always a good game around the corner. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.